Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing amazing. Everyone's having a good Wednesday. Um, I can't see the chat right now. I will pull it up real quick, but I hope everyone's well. I wanted to go on live and share some thoughts around time management and getting more crap done in your accounting business. I know, particularly with extension deadlines and things going on, it can be a crazy time. So I know this is a pertinent topic. I plan on doing more of these, by the way. So if you guys have any topics, any things, any bottlenecks or obstacles or things that you're working on, I'd love to hear what you're working on so that I can do more of these and, help more people out. So I'm just going to dive right into it. So I know in our business, and especially in accounting businesses, if you have hundreds of tax prep clients and you have a ton of high volume clients, let's say, there's going to be 1,000 things going on between all the client work and keeping up with that and all the client communication going on and keeping up with that, supporting your team members if you have team and making sure they have a good direction on what to do, what to prioritize. And then at the same time, trying to build the systems, build the business, and build the team. So it can be really, really difficult to manage all of these things with all this stuff going on, especially during busy season, especially during extension season. So when you month end, so there's these ebbs and flows of client work that really can make consistency and getting your priorities done really challenging. And I probably don't need to tell you that, right? Um, so I wanted to talk about a few pointers or a few tips around how to get more done, how to move your business forward through the ebbs and flows of the work. So the first thing I wanted to mention that's been a game changer for me has been weekly planning. So I've kind of played around with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I tend to do really well on Friday afternoons, but you could also do this on a Saturday or a Sunday, go to a coffee shop, get out of the office, and take about 60 minutes is a good time to really plan your week. And that really helps you set the tone for the week ahead, as well as provide an opportunity for a feedback loop, which I'll touch on here in a bit, about what you can learn from the past week. So when I do my weekly planning, I go somewhere where I can be the most creative and get kind of tap into that part of the brain. I will reflect on my past week. I'll ask myself, hey, what can I celebrate? What wins can I take from this past week? Start with that state of positivity. And then once I've bullet pointed that out, I will also ask myself what lessons can I take from last week. What are some things that went unexpected, or what things popped up that going forward maybe I can adjust my actions or adjust something to improve on that area. So that's the first thing I do. I'll also uh, remind myself of what my goals are. So I'll write down what my goals are for the business, what my personal goals are. I tend to keep it between 5 and 10 goals that I have. I think if you're writing down like 50 goals, it can be quite a bit. So you really want to make it manageable and just keep those in front of you. And then I'll go into the actual planning process for the next week. So the first question I ask once I've written those goals down is I'll say, what priorities do I need to focus on this week to move closer to these goals? And you don't want to have 10 priorities, right? It's going to be very difficult to have that many focus points, right? And I would say if you have 10 priorities, you have no priorities, right? So really keep it to, I would probably have one top priority and then maybe a couple of, two more at the tops. I would have no more than three things that I really want to hammer on to focus on in the week to move closer to my goals, right? And then this next one is really important, and I would bet that a lot of people aren't doing this, and that's putting these things into your calendar. So whether you're using Outlook, whether you're using Google Calendar. It's so important that you actually schedule out your days and put in, particularly with these priorities, where when you're going to set aside time to actually do these priorities that are going to move you closer to your business goals, towards your life goals, right? Okay. So that is a nice segue into the next piece, which is actually leveraging the calendar and actually using the calendar. So when I actually put things into my calendar, I have a very specific order with what I put events into my calendar. The one thing I'll say about this too is we usually overestimate what we can get done in a day. So I will generally give myself 150 or 200% of the time that I think it'll take to do something. I'll put it in at that time, so that way I have some buffer time if something distracts me, if it takes me a little bit longer than I expected or whatever, I'll add a little more time in for it. So I don't just map out my 9 to 5 day, I put in my entire day into my calendar, right? So even the evenings, like if I have a date night or time with to call a family, or workout time, walk time, I put all that stuff in. So, and that's where I start. I actually start with things that energize me first and what really gets me excited. So maybe I have a slot to go get a massage, or it's a date night or dinner. I put all that stuff in first and foremost, right? There's nothing more important in your business than your energy and where your focus and time is going. So really, if you want to show up and perform at your best, you really want to prioritize some time for you. And I know I've been through 10 tax seasons. I know that that is easier said than done, but I promise you'll be more productive if you can find time somewhere in your day to go take that walk, to work out, to to get that massage or whatever it is for you that's going to energize you. Okay. And once you do that, you want to add in any personal activities. So if I have a doctor's appointment, if I have to go to the DMV, the bank, I'll put those in. Then this one's really important, and I would probably even prioritize this over the personal activities. You want to find a space to put those on the business activities. There's priorities that you mentioned above in the calendar, and you really want to be consistent and have a time, ideally daily, at the same time every day, where you're focusing on these big things that are going to move the business forward. So it could be building out processes. It could be building out your marketing system or lead generation system. It could be building out your sales process. It could be building out a resource or more support for your clients, or a different offering for your clients. It could be working on who to hire or a new hire. So all those things are generally the things that get taken off that kind of get kicked down the curb, so to say, when you have fires and craziness come up in your day. It's those very important but not particularly urgent tasks that you tend to procrastinate on or push off. And that's a big reason why we aren't able to continuously grow, scale, etc. And instead, we need to find a specific time of day, even if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, where we can focus on those type of tasks consistently and daily. And I say it needs to be daily because it really building that momentum through consistency is so important. It's you're gonna make a lot more progress if you're able to do like a 30-minute workout every day versus going into the gym for 3 hours or 3 hours a month or something like that, right? In one big session. Okay. Once I've put that time in, which is crucial, it's adding in those revenue generating activities. So making sure your sales opportunities are in there. Anything with marketing related tasks, if you're hosting a webinar or putting content out there, you want to add that in. And then if you're getting support from a mentor, coach, attending webinars, working on yourself, you want to add that time in. And then it would be, then you want to put in client fulfillment time. And I will touch on a little bit more on client fulfillment time here shortly when we talk about boundaries. Okay. Okay, so I hope you guys are following. I know I'm flying through this pretty quick. At the end of the day, and you guys can play around with this to see what time works best for you to do this. Take 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It could be early afternoon, it could be lunchtime, it could be 5 o'clock, it could be 9 o'clock. You just have to see what works best for you to do this and where you think you can get into the habit of doing it. Take a little bit of time to reflect on your day. So this creates feedback loops, which allows you to learn every day. You can actually take, you can actually review your day and see how you can improve. And if you do that every day, you're going to continuously get 1% better every day, right? It's kind of like the example that comes to mind is sales calls, right? So if you do 1,000 sales calls and you're just go, you're doing a bunch of calls, but you're not taking time to reflect, you're not going to learn as much as if you take time every few calls to actually go back, review the game tape, and see where you can get better. And it's the same way when we're doing our end of day planning here. So it's like looking back at how can I get better? Okay. So you want to ask yourself, what went great today? What can we learn from today? And where can we improve? Did I get those priorities done that I wanted to get done? And then what are my top 1 to 3 priorities for tomorrow? Right? Make sure they're in the calendar. And that's it. Hopefully, if you guys are getting good value from this, just I don't know, drop a 10x in the chat. How about that? Cool. Boundaries. So boundaries, this is a huge one, guys. And I talked about this at our workshop this week. When we have a lot of clients, particularly, you're probably getting bombarded with emails, with phone calls, with texts, all hours of the day. And you feel the urge and the need to have to respond to people quickly. Maybe that if you don't have proper boundaries set. So I know that we want to serve our clients at the highest level and we want to do the best that we can for them. But actually, I want to help you reframe this a little bit, that when we don't set proper boundaries and we feel like we need to respond to everybody immediately, we're actually doing our clients a disservice because we're not going to have the energy to show up properly for them, right? That can take us down a path of not feeling very fulfilled about what we're doing and not feeling fired up about what we're doing. And people generally don't want to work with somebody that's grumpy or frustrated, right? So it's very, very important that we set those boundaries. And this is something that I've definitely, I definitely work on too. So absolutely, it's something that I've been working on and work on. Let's see. And that's really when we see these emails coming in, these messages come in, we're really being reactionary, right? We're reacting to someone messaging us or someone emailing us, and that's stimuli. What we can try instead to be a little more proactive is to set a time on the calendar every day. Maybe it's twice a day, maybe it's 3 times a day. I wouldn't go more than that for sure. To actually handle these messages, to handle these things. So that way you have proactive time set. It opens up your brain space and your mind to really focus on those big needle moving business things that are going to move your business forward, right? And so that you can build those assets up. Okay. And again, this is what I mentioned. This is a big reason why we don't get done what we need to move the business forward. Okay. And then just quickly, at the beginning of the day, write your goals. I think I've noticed that when I've written them consistently, it's helped me stay focused. It's helped me see the progress that I'm making in business and that our team's making in business. And that's just, I don't know why, but it's been really helpful. And then try your best. This is one that I'm definitely working on, is keeping notifications off in the morning. So that way you don't wake up into reaction mode. So use that do not disturb, and go get some movement in, whether to, go take a walk, have a cup of coffee, take a few minutes for yourself, take a half hour for yourself, whatever you need, to just energize yourself. And then ideally start on those top activities, those top priorities first. So you can play around with this. Maybe you're most productive, most focused later in the afternoon, but I believe most people are probably the most focused earlier in the morning and can really jump on these things that are the most important for moving the business forward. So with that said, that's all I've got on here. I hope this was helpful. I want to do more of these. Let me know what your number one takeaway was from this, or one action item that you would consider implementing. And outside of that, we're good to go. Talk soon.